What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. And if you are enjoying yourself on this beautiful day, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam, you'll get eaten by Shamu. Yeah, that's right. Shamu is back from the dead and very upset that we locked her in SeaWorld. And if you don't press the like button, then I can't promise that I'll be able to keep her at bay. Anyways, guys, hope you're having a lovely day. My name is Scrubby. Welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can tell from the title and thumbnail, I have a story about a crazy stepmom. This was a story that was sent to me on my Instagram at Scrubby by a subscriber. If you have any crazy stories of your own that you want to be told on the channel, just head over to my Instagram at Scrubby and hit me up in the DMs. But yeah, this person's stepmom has been trying to get rid of them, and they basically wrote me this story about how their stepmom is actually trying to be one of the Wicked Witch of the West from Cinderella, alright? I don't know if that makes any sense at all. I don't know if Cinderella had witches or not, but this stepmom is definitely a witch. So yeah, it should be a pretty entertaining video, so let's get into it. But before we get into it, I am literally like 1,000 subs away from 1,000,000 subs. So if everybody who watches this could please send this to a friend and make them subscribe, that would be great. So, yeah, let's do this. So, my parents ended up getting divorced, alright? I wasn't too thrilled on the idea, obviously. It's not like anybody, when they get sat down and told their parents are gonna divorce, they're like, hey, yo, really, bro? That's hype! Amen! Hey, praise, bro. I'm really happy you guys are getting a divorce. That's not something that usually comes out of my mouth, but, you know, things happen, people's change, and I wasn't exactly, like, depressed about it either, because I knew they would be better apart. What really started to make me upset, though, is when my dad started dating this girl named Abigail. At first, Abigail seemed like really cool. She let us do whatever we want. She was, you know, the cool girlfriend that was dating my dad. But as things got more serious, she started to very slowly grab more and more control, all right? Like, I'm not her kid, and she would go out of her way to make it where I couldn't stay up late or I couldn't go hang out with my friends. And keep in mind, she wasn't even my stepmom at this point. And my dad, of course, was crazy in love with her, so he just kind of thought that this was normal and kind of let her do whatever he want. Which, I mean, I'm not trying to blame my dad, but Abigail very slowly started to get more and more crazy. However, I just took it as her kind of trying to get more of like a parental role and didn't really think much of it. And then my dad sat me down and told me that him and Abigail were going to get married, all right? And I've seen enough stepmom videos on the internet to know how this is supposed to end, and I'm going to make it very clear. It did not end like that, all right? So basically, my mom is very pissed that Abigail exists. She's not too happy about the fact that 6 months after my parents got divorced, my dad is now going to marry a new woman that I've mentioned to my mom is kind of mean to me. That doesn't make her super stoked, and I don't expect it to. It's not very common for, like, you know, your ex to start dating somebody that's mean to your kid and be like, hey, yo, bro, real sick. I appreciate how mean you are to my child. 5 out of 5, 10 stars on the App Store. Like, this is not gonna happen. But Abigail, of course, wasn't too happy with my existence either, because I took attention away from her from my dad. And as soon as they get married and sit me down and tell me they're getting married, things changed even more, because now, not only did I have to split custody between my mom and my dad, but whenever I was at my dad's, Abigail was there, and it was technically her house too, which made her think she had even more control over me than she already did. And at first, she would take control of things in, like, less obvious ways. She would make it where I couldn't be on my phone at the dinner table. She wouldn't let me stay up late. Stuff that I guess kind of made sense. I mean, obviously, I have a little bit of a problem with authority, so whenever she would try to, like, tell me what to do or tell me that I couldn't do things, I didn't like it very much, and that led to a lot of arguments with my dad. And at first, my dad would side with Abigail every single time, but as she kept reaching for more and more power, the fights would get more and more ridiculous. Like, one time, I told Abigail and my dad that I was gonna go hang out with a friend of mine when I was at my mom's house, you know? So I wouldn't even be in their house. It really wasn't up to them. And my dad went, oh, okay, that's cool, have fun. And Abigail was like, no, you can't go because I don't know that person's parents. Like, what if they're gonna kidnap you? And I told her, I was like, look, that's cool that you're concerned. It's not up to you. I won't even be at this house, so you're not in charge of me then anyways. And on top of that, if my mom and dad say it's okay, you're not my mom. So you don't get to, like, tell me what to do. You're not in charge of me. And that obviously drove her insane. She starts screaming, I might not be your birth mother, but I'm married to your father, so I'm in charge of you too. How dare you cause problems in this household? Typical Karen speak for, please don't disrespect me even though I'm a psychopath. So at that point, my dad kind of put his foot down and was like, look, you're not his mom, I'm sorry, but if he wants to go over to somebody's house when he's not here, there's nothing I can do about it. Plus, I don't really mind if he's hanging out with people. It's not up to you. And so from that point on, Abigail really really had it out for me, okay? Her job was to get me banned from my dad's house. She was basically under the assumption from that point forward that my dad was not wrapped around her finger as long as I was around, and it was my fault that she couldn't tell him what to do all the time and that he would listen. So Abigail started doing things to like low-key try to get my dad to kick me out, and they kept getting more and more ridiculous. The first time that she caused a fight on purpose to try to get my dad to kick me out was something like this. I was sitting there watching TV, and it was one of the old James Bond movies, right? And the old James Bond movies that were made in the 60s definitely are getting a little dated now. And there was this girl that was being snippy with James Bond or whatever, and he just like kissed her to make her shut up. And obviously, you know, I wasn't like, oh, that's a good idea. I should try that. Next time my teacher's talking too much, I'm just gonna kiss her. I'm not an idiot. That was never gonna be my plan. But for whatever reason, Abigail was like, look at the disgusting movies you're watching. No wonder you're so depraved. Do you watch this at your mother's house? And starts like basically saying that I'm some type of criminal because I'm watching a movie where somebody did something bad. Like as if those two things are linked, you know. Call me crazy here. When I watch Transformers, I don't become a giant robot destroying downtown LA. That's not how movies work. Just because somebody does something bad in a movie doesn't mean that I'm gonna do it. And she just starts screaming at me for it. And obviously I'm not in the mood, so I start screaming back. And my dad walks in, and Abigail looks at him and goes, your son started attacking me because I tried to say that I didn't like this movie, and he started calling me stupid and that I was worthless. And I'm like, Dad, I never said that. And she's like, of course he's gonna lie. He knows that he's gonna get in trouble for it. Look at how upset I am. Would I be this upset if it was just some silly fight? And my dad is like, how dare you call your stepmom stupid? I love her regardless of how you feel. You should respect her. This is her household too. And I'm sitting here like, bruh, I never even called her stupid, but okay. My dad is obviously mad at me because his wife is crying like, your son insulted me. And obviously when there's a crying girl, every man is gonna be like, wow, that was kind of mean. And so I tell my dad, like, you're an idiot. This isn't what happened. She's lying to you. And then she goes, are you calling me a liar? And I made the mistake of saying, yes, I am calling you a liar because you're lying. And my dad is like, that's it. I'm taking you back to your mom's house. How dare you be so disrespectful in this household to your stepmother? It doesn't matter if she's your actual mom. You owe her some respect as my wife. And I'm like, okay, Dad, sure. And that's when I tell him, it's not my fault. I'm not the one who chose to marry the gold digger, which was probably something that I shouldn't have said. I should have just left it and gone back to my mom's house. But then my dad starts saying, what are you calling Abigail? Are you calling her some floozy that married me for money? And I'm incredibly mad at this point because keep in mind, all of this has started from a fight that didn't happen. I never called her stupid. I never said she like didn't deserve rights or whatever. I literally was just saying that James Bond movies from the 60s aren't my life goal, okay? I don't watch a movie and automatically assume everything on screen is cool to do. When I watched the Emoji Movie, I wasn't like, yo, bro, I'm gonna be a smiley face. Like I'm not an idiot. I don't need to be told that movies aren't real. And then she lied to my dad and made it I'm a stupid person who doesn't belong in this house type of thing, you know? Like, I didn't even say there. I mean, hey, if the boot fits, wear it. All I'm saying, Abigail, I didn't tell you that you were stupid and didn't belong here, but you did it to yourself, okay? You really did. So it leads to this big fight, you know, it's all terrible. I tell my dad that, yeah, you basically married her for the money. He says, that's it. I think you need to go back to your mother's. I don't want to see you till next weekend. Like, you need some time to cool off. You better think long and hard about what you've done. I think that we need counseling, all this stuff, whatever. So I go back to my mom's house and I'm telling her what's going on and how she's like baiting me into fighting with her to get my dad involved so that way I look bad. And my mom's like, you know, I never liked that girl. She's not good for your father either, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So now my mom's kind of up to date that this person is a little bit of a psychopath. So she mentioned something to my dad about how I mentioned that the fight that happened wasn't fair. And my dad tells my mom, like, it's none of your business. It doesn't matter what's going on in my relationship. Your job is to teach my son how to be respectful. And obviously he's not that. And so my mom, trying to avoid the situation and stay out of drama, is like, well, then maybe you guys need some counseling, all right? Maybe all of you guys should go to a therapist together. That way you can try to solve your problems, fix your weird family dynamic you got going on so your son doesn't think that you're married to a psychopathic gold digger, because if she's not that, then maybe therapy will solve that. My dad's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So we have to go to like family counseling, family therapy together, right? And we get there, and keep in mind, I'm thinking that this is going to be taken seriously. I think we're actually going to work through our problems. We're going to talk about how she kind of causes fights with me to make my father upset. But we get in there, And what does Abigail start telling the therapist, the person that's in charge of making these relationships better? She starts telling her that I'm like abusive and I degrade her when my father's not around, which I don't do. I avoid her as much as humanly possible. I don't like this woman. I don't like to be around her. So whenever my dad's not there, I don't bug her. I go to my room, I close the door, and I try not to interact with him as much as possible. The only time I've been forced to interact with her is when I'm watching James Bond and we all see how that ends. It ends with her screaming at me for stuff that I didn't do. So she's lying to a counselor, a therapist. She is lying to and being like, yeah, his son is really mean to me. I don't know what I did. She starts crying and being like, I've just always wanted to be a second mother to you. And I'm rolling my eyes because I'm like, look, this woman is just lying. She's lying to everyone. But I roll my eyes, and the therapist and my father see me rolling the eyes at this woman saying that she loves me. Like, it's not a good look. She's really good at manipulating people. That's why she got to marry my dad in the first place. It's not like she's really terrible at making people believe her crap. That's why she's so good at it. So they start telling me that I'm disrespectful, and it's obvious that this woman just cares about you and wants the best for you. And I'm like, that's just not true. So I start trying to explain my side, and I sound like a crazy person. Because here's this woman crying, saying how much she loves me, and I'm trying to make her seem like the Wicked Witch of the West, secretly behind the scenes, like manipulating everybody. So we leave therapy, and my dad's like, I can't believe that you don't want to solve it. You saw how much she loved you when we were at therapy. She just wants the best for you, and the fact that you can't even give her a chance says a lot about your character. I don't know where your mother and I went wrong raising you. Clearly it's more on her end. And I'm like, dog, don't you dare start bringing my mom into this. So I basically tell my dad, look, I don't want to live with you anymore. If you're going to keep defending this bimbo who keeps trying to make me look bad, then that's on you. You can lose your relationship with your son. And he's like, no, I don't want to lose a relationship with you, but maybe we just need to do every other weekend at my house for a bit. Instead of every week, you come over every other weekend. It'll give you guys some time apart. Maybe distance will make the heart grow fonder. You and I can still go to lunch every weekend, but like, I think that there's just too much tension. Whatever, Dad, you're an idiot. I don't really care. I'm mad at my dad at this point because he's just believing these lies. In retrospect, she's obviously a very good liar, like crying on command to a therapist saying that she just wants to beat my mom and making me look crazy. It's pretty smart, all right? I'm not saying it's not psychopathic because obviously it's a little bit psychopathic. Let's be honest here. Convincing people that, you know, your stepson hates you for no reason and crying to people, that's a little bit psychopathic. So whatever, I don't go over there as much anymore. And then the second weekend comes around and I go back over there to stay there for the weekend. And the entire time this is going on, I'm telling my mom, like, look, this is what's going on. She's making me crazy. We go to therapy and she lies. Like, I'm telling my mom how psychopathic this woman is. And my mom is obviously getting very mama bear defensive because here's this woman being horrible to her son. And, you know, my mom basically says, look, I can't really do anything about it. If I tell your dad, oh, I hate your new wife, it's just going to come across as like, look, I'm the jealous ex-wife. I don't want you to be happy with anyone. It's not going to matter coming from my mouth. So if anything's going to happen, you have to kind of prove to your dad that she's a psychopath. And I'm like, well, how do I prove that this chick is psycho? She's really good at manipulating people. It's not like some amateur sitting on the street, Joe Schmo manipulating. She's good at it. She knows what she's doing. And my mom's like, well, maybe you can record her kind of starting the fight before your dad comes in. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give it a try. So I'm there that weekend, and the first day goes good. My dad doesn't leave me and Abigail alone, which is probably smart because we're gonna fight. Like, if you left me alone with her, stuff was gonna get heated. But the second day, because the first day we got along so well, and the entire time the first day when my dad is around, Abigail is being so nice to me. She's like, oh, I missed you so much. I'm so glad we've worked through our differences. And obviously, I know it's BS. I know it's an act, because I've seen what she's like when my dad's not around, you know? But she's acting all nice in front of my dad. And the second day, my dad leaves, and it starts off okay. She's being super nice to me. And about 5 minutes after my dad leaves, she walks in and she's like, we have a problem. And I'm kind of like, huh? But I flip my phone onto the bed and I hit record so I can record what's going on. And she's like, I don't understand who you think you are to come back in here, but I want to make something very clear. I will make sure that you and your father no longer have a relationship by the end of the year. I'm going to cause problems. Like, this is me telling you, if you want to keep a relationship with your dad, you should leave now. Tell him you don't want to come over on weekends anymore, because I don't want to share my space with you. I don't want to share your father with you. And to be honest, I don't like you very much. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I start kind of asking her why she doesn't like me, and she just starts going on and on about how I'm lazy and I'm stupid, like all this stuff, right? Which, I mean, okay, could I probably work out a little bit more? Yeah. Could I be a little smarter? Yeah. But you don't tell that to the person you're married to, kid. Like, you're not like, hey, I married your dad, but you're a moron. I hate you. That's just not very chill. Keep in mind, I've been recording it. So I record it all, and after she kind of goes off about how she's going to try to get rid of me, she's going to drive me away from my dad, she's going to make sure we have no relationship, I smile at her, and I flip my phone over and show her that I've been recording. And she's like, what? What? And starts screaming and chasing me down to try to get my phone. So I lock myself in the bathroom to try to get away from her, like to make sure that I keep my phone. And I'm like, I'm not coming out until my dad gets home, right? But she knows if my dad hears the recording, it's over, because I'm also still recording. So I've got her like chasing me into the bathroom, me locking myself in here. It doesn't look too good. How do you politely explain, no, honey, I'm not a psychopath. I just told your son that I want you guys to never have a relationship, and then chased him inside and made him lock himself in the bathroom. It was all a practical joke. Like, there's really not a way to get out of that without making you look bad. And so I'm there, and then what happens is she starts kicking in the door. She starts kicking in the door, and I'm still recording. And so I push her, like, to try to get her away from the door, because her foot's coming through the door. So I'm standing against the door, and she opens it, and so, like, I push her back to try to get out, because when someone's breaking in a door to try to get to you, you want to get away. I didn't hit her. I swear I didn't hit her, so I just, like, pushed her out of the way and, like, ran. But when I ran by after I pushed her, she, like, lost her balance and falls over. And then she starts screaming, you hit me, you hit me, you hit me. And I'm like, no, I didn't hit you. Like, I didn't hit you. I didn't, because I did not hit her. I swear on my life, I did not hit her at all. And so she starts being like, you hit me, I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. And I'm like, I didn't hit you. And so she says, give me your phone or I'm calling the police. And I knew that if I gave her the phone, she was still going to call the police. So I'm like, no, then I guess you can call the police. And so I lock myself in my room, which is basically across the house from her at this point. And I hear her on the phone, and she's calling the police. And then I hear her call my dad, and she's crying. She's like, he hit me, he hit me. So my dad's coming home. The cops are coming. So a little bit later, the cops show up. My dad is home, and they're like, did you hit your mom? Your stepmom? And I'm like, no, I didn't. My dad's like, how dare you hit her? I go, Dad, listen. So the cops and my dad are there, and I'm playing them the recording, and they can very hear, like, the door getting kicked in. I'm like, yeah, she kicked in the door. And so I ran back and I, like, pushed her, and the recording's playing, and she's separated. Like, they had separated us during this entire process. And so everybody hears it, and they're like, oh, okay, because I have audio proof that I didn't hit her. Like, I just ran by. I'm like, I didn't hit you. And even then, even if I did hit her, if I'm in the bathroom and you start kicking in the door and trying to grab my stuff, that's, like, pretty much self-defense at that point, you know? It's not like, oh, man, he was just being a big meanie pants on the couch and kicked me in the chin. That's not how that looks. So obviously, everybody's kind of like, oh, okay, this wasn't the situation. My dad hears the recording and immediately starts apologizing to me and is like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. And we're separated, so she doesn't know what's going on at this point. In fact, she thinks she's okay because the cops had taken me outside and left her inside. So she thinks that she's basically gotten away with it, and I'm the one who's going to get in trouble. But the cops go back in, and they're basically like, all right, we're done here. Bye. And they leave because there's not much they can do. They're like, all right, we're not going to stick around for the next part, but no crime happened. We're good. So they leave, and my dad starts talking to Abigail, and she's like, why would you say that to my son? And she's like, oh, no, we were kidding, like, tries to make it a joke. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't think that was very funny. You know, that made me feel bad. And my dad's like, all of this, everything you've said in therapy, like, it's all a lie. I can't believe you. I can't believe you. We're done. Like, I want you out of my house. And she's like, no, I'm sorry. I can change. He's like, no, you were so mean to my son. I don't care if you say you're going to change. We're done. We're done here. Like, leave. And she's like, whatever. I'll take half your stuff in the divorce anyways. Just starts being nasty. Once she realizes she's not going to be able to manipulate her way out of it. And my dad, as she's standing out the door, goes, well, you can't take half because I made you sign a prenup, you stupid B word, and slam the door. And, that's how my weekend was, and I decided to send this to you or me on Instagram so you can tell it. You can please change the names, but, like, you can tell it on your... So, yeah, that's the most intense subscriber story I've gotten in an incredibly long time. Like, definitely one of the more intense ones. Like I said, if you guys have any crazy stories, you can send them to my Instagram, @Scrubby. That was insane. I hope everything works out. Like, I hope everything's okay. I hope your stepmom and your dad get divorced peacefully. That sounds really mean to say, but I hope you get what I'm saying. But, yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe. I tell stories like this every single day, whether they be mine or from subscribers. You guys should subscribe. Turn on notifications. If you guys turn on notifications, send a screenshot to my Instagram at Scrubby. I also shout somebody out, like today. The notification shout out goes to Hayden Leopold77. Big shout out for having on notifications. Like I said, turn them on, send me a screenshot. Other than that, guys, the Christmas merch is banging. You guys should order the Christmas merch in time to get it for Christmas. You guys should do that. I don't really know if it'll ship in time still, but you should still get it because it's festive and it's holly and everybody needs a little bit of Christmas. Other than that, use code Scrubby at the G Fuel checkout for 30% off. Have yourselves an incredible day. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. Follow me on Twitter at Scrubby_69, and I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace.